All right, today's a big day. We are going to learn how to build a unit circle, okay? So what is a unit circle, by the way? Unit circle is a circle center at the origin. You can't see, with the radius of 1. We kind of talk about it in the class together. To develop this, we have to talk about a few things. First, let's talk about a quick review of the degree versus radian. Remember, they are just different unit, talking about the angle. 360 degree is what in radian? 2 pi. So because of that, I can say 180 degree is pi, 90 degree is half the pi. So I just divided by half of each. As long as you know that 180 degree is a pi, everything is going to be, you can find different angle based on that, and then we'll get into that. Okay, so first thing first, there is a right triangle that's inside of this unit circle, and then with the angle theta, and I decide to take that triangle out here. So I just zoomed out. Okay, because of that, that's the radius of the circle. Since it's a unit circle, radius is going to be 1. You good with so far? Okay. And then the first angle we're going to look at is a 30 degree. This right here is a 30 degree. However, we don't do the degree in the AP exam. We only use the radians. So if I know 180 degree is pi, how much will be 30 degree in radian? Well, do you see I 1/6 it? So wouldn't it be pi over 6? Okay, so let's say theta is pi over 6, which is same as 30 degree, but I'm going to use radian. Okay, all right, over here this distance is going to be the x, over here the distance is going to be y, so the coordinate at this point right here is going to be x, y. Are you understanding what's happening so far? Okay, now I'm going to go through what we did in geometry class, but warning sign, how I do it might be different than how you learned it, and that is okay. Okay, that's the beauty of everybody taking different geometry class, or not beauty, depending on how you say it. Okay, all right, so you all remember the 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, one of the special triangle. And then the length of the ratio goes 1, 2, square root of 3 to 2. You all remember you set it up? I don't remember, that's okay. All right, so where does 1 go? That's the shortest one right here, and then square root of 3 goes other side, and 2 is going to be the longest hypotenuse side goes here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up the ratio and then solve for it, okay? Let's start over here. So I got 2 over 1 is equal to 1 over y. Cross multiply, wait, 2 over 1 is 1 over y, cross multiply, 1 is equal to 2y, y is going to be half. Okay, so when the length of the hypotenuse is 1, this side right here is going to be half, so y is a half. I should have used different color. Oh well. All right, I'm going to set up another ratio. 2 over square root of 3 is equal to 1 over x. Cross multiply both sides. X is going to be square root of 3 over 2. X is going to be square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so once again, this is a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle. When the hypotenuse has a length of a 1, adjacent side is going to be square root of 3 over 2, and opposite side is going to be half. So this x comma y is going to be square root of 3 over 2 comma half. That's the final answer we're looking for. Okay, all right. Now I'm moving on to 45 degree. Imagine that's where the triangle came from. But this time, instead of theta being 30 degree pi over 6, I'm going to use the 45 degree. Okay, so just set up the same x, y, hypotenuse is going to be 1 since that's same as the length of the radius. All right, and then this right here is going to be x comma. I'm going to use different colors this time. All right, who remembers the ratio for 45, 45, 90 degree triangle? 1, 2, 1, 2, square root of 2. It's okay if you don't remember. All right, so 1, 2, 1, 2, square root of 2. So I put that down, and then let's set up the equation to find the missing side. So I'm going to do square root of 2 over 1. The orange is equal to 1 over y. Y square root of 2 is equal to 1. Y is, I'm doing this part pretty fast. Rationalize it, square root of 2 over 2. So y is square root of 2 over 2. Well, x and y are 1 to 1. So if that y is square root of 2 over 2, shouldn't x be square root of 2 over 2 as well? So what's the coordinate x comma y? Square root of 2 over 2 comma square root of 2 over 2. Okay? All right, last one, the triangle. This time is going to be, wait, I forgot something. 45 degree. What is 45 degree in radian? Because remember, we're not using degree, we're using radian. Well, don't forget, don't worry. 180 degrees of pi. 45 degree. How many 45 goes in 180? 4 of them. So it's going to be pi over 4. So this right here, theta is pi over 4. What about 60 degree? Oops, 60 degree is, let's see, 180 degree is pi. 60 degree, there are 3 of them, so pi over 3. So radian is, the degree is pi over 3. 90 degree, x and y and 1. Here's what I'm going to do. Do you guys know that 60, 30, 90 is same as 30, 60, 90? Except we got like flip-flop it. So if this was square root of 3 over 2 comma half, to save some time, the x comma y on this coordinate is going to be half comma square root of 3 over 2. Because they're the same triangle, it just got flipped over. Now, that's how you like come up with this. Go to the next page, the unit circle. We're going to learn how to fill this up. Okay? I know it looks humongous, but remember, the radius is going to be 1. Okay? The radius is going to be 1. All right, let's talk about the angles first. All right? So remember, when you're talking about a circular angle, they always start with the positive x-axis. So right here is going to be 0 in radian. The next angle right here, remember that's 90 degree. What's 90 degree in radian? Half the pi. We did this in class. Now let's make a straight line. How much is this much angle? Straight line is 180 degree. That is pi in radian. What about this much? Oh, I'm at pi, another half the pi, 3 half the pi. Some of you might want to say 1.5 pi. It's the same thing, but we're going to notice on the unit circle they like to, it's always 3 half the pi. That's how it's written. When I were to make one full circle, that's going to be 2 pi. Over here on the right side is where we're going to do the degree, but AP exam doesn't do degree, so we're kind of going to skip it. Okay? All right, one more thing. Let me just go bottom here. This is a unit circle, mean radius is a 1. Radius is a 1. What's going to be the coordinate of this point right here? X value is 1. Y value is 0. Right? What about up here? X value is 0. Y value is a 1. What about that left? X value is negative 1. 0. 0, comma, negative 1. You with me those 4 points? Yes. So here's what we're going to do. Take those 4 points and put it right here. So this point is 0, 1, 0. That point up here is 0, 1. I did it in the small over here so that you can see what's going on. When it's so big like that, sometimes students don't see what we're doing. Negative 1, 0 and 0, negative 1. Okay, so we did that. Now look at the right side. Look at the first quadrant. That's what I meant, not the right side. First quadrant. Do you see there are 3 angles going on? Boop, boop, boop. Guess what those 3 angles will be? Well, it has to be between 0 and half the pi, or 0 and 90 degree. Those are going to be your 3 special angles. What are those? 30, 45, 60 degree. But we don't do the degree. We're going to do the radian, which I can kind of use this, what we already did. 30 degree is what in radian? Pi over 6. And I'm going to write that number right here. So imagine your reference angle is over here at pi over 6. And then make your triangle this way. And the coordinate of x comma y is what? Square root of 3 over 2 comma half. So all this activity we did earlier is so that I can come up with the coordinate of each angle. All right, what was the next angle? Pi over 4. So the next angle is going to be pi over 4 over here. Coordinate is going to be square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. With me? All right, the last angle was what? Pi over 3. Coordinate was half comma square root of 3 over 2. Now when I say each angle, just imagine there's that right triangle over there, which you don't have to do it. All right, that's how you fill out the first quadrant of the unit circle. Yay. All right, here's a trick though. Well, do I do a trick right now? Nah, I'll do a trick later. All right, so that's how you do it. Now you're a little overwhelmed because there are like 9 empty things going on. So how are we going to do this? All right, we're going to focus on one thing at a time, one angle at a time. Let's start with pi over 6. You with me? Pi over 6 has a coordinate of square root of 3 over 2 comma half. I need you to take that and then reflect it over the y-axis. So take this, reflect it over, then I'm going to land it over here. So this point, you reflect over, you get over here. When you reflect along the y-axis, what's going to happen? Isn't it only where your x value is going to change the sign? So instead of square root of 3 over 2 comma half, it's going to be negative square root of 3 over 2 comma half. Yeah? All right. Now you take that, reflect it over the x-axis to over here. Coordinate. Both will be negative. Negative square root of 3 over 2, negative half. Take that, reflect it over the y-axis. You're going to get square root of 3 over 2 comma negative half. If you don't want to reflect it over, just think about the quadrant. That's a first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. Positive, positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive, negative. Either way. Yeah? All right. What about the angle? All right, be careful. This is where the fraction comes in. Okay. That much was pi over 6. You with me? How much will be this much? So not the straight line, everything but that little thing. This is where the reference angle comes in, what we did last lesson. The reference angle over here is pi over 6. Wouldn't the reference angle over here will be pi over 6 as well? Yeah? So if that's much as pi over 6, how much is the rest? 5/6 of pi. 5/6 of pi. Yeah? All right. What about this one? Well, it's going to be at least the pi, right? Straight line. And then you go another pi over 6. So what's pi plus pi over 6? 7/6 of pi. 1 1/6 of pi. Okay? The fourth quadrant is going to be a little difficult. Stay with me. It's going to be one full circle, which is 2 pi. But then, boop, you take away 1/6 of a pi. So what is 2 pi, but then you take away pi over 6? Be careful over here. 12 over 6 of pi. You need a common denominator. That will be 11/6 of pi. So I just did all 4 like pairing with the denominator of 6 reference angle. That's how I call it. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to do the same thing. Just keep going. I should finish this in 2 minutes. Am I going to make it? All right. This one, that one. Remember, that's like reflection over the x-axis, y-axis, whatever axis. Okay, so I'm looking at square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. Over here it's going to be negative square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. Over here it's going to be negative square root of 2 over 2, negative square root of 2. Both are negative. Over here it's going to be square root of 2 over 2, negative square root of 2 over 2. So I'm speeding up. What about the angle? This angle right here is pi over 4. Then how much is this much? Well, wouldn't that be a pi minus pi over 4? What's pi minus pi over 4? 3/4 of pi. What about the one in the third quadrant? Pi plus 1/4 of pi. It's the same reference angle, all of them. So it's going to be 5/4 of pi. Last one, 2 pi minus pi over 4. 7/4 of pi. All right, very last one. 1/3 of a pi. New markers. New marker, there we go. Okay, so half the pi, comma, square root of 3 over 2, negative half the square root of 3 over 2, negative half, negative square root of 3 over 2, half, negative square root of 3 over 2. I'm going to show you how to memorize it later, okay? All right. Reference angle is pi over 3, 2/3 of a pi. Pi plus pi over 3. Excuse me, pi plus pi over 3, 4/3 of a pi. Last one, 2 pi minus pi over 3, 5/3 of a pi. Guess what? I just filled the whole thing out. Yay. That's how you fill it out. Don't worry, I'll never ask you to fill the whole thing out. Now in the next video, I'm going to explain to you how to memorize it.